A task triggers the execution of scheduled programs inside it. A Logix Designer project can have up to 32 tasks, but not all Logix 5000 controllers support that many tasks. All tasks have a watchdog. If the task execution time exceeds the watchdog, the controller will fault. There are 3 types of tasks: continuous, event, and periodic. Notice that each type of task is denoted by a specific icon. You can modify the task type as required. Click each tab to learn more. A project can have only one continuous task, which is created by default with the creation of a new project. This task runs continuously, but can be interrupted by the periodic and event tasks. Since a continuous task is not mandatory, it can be deleted or modified to a different task type as the application requires. A key feature of newer Logix 5000 controllers, like the ControlLogix 5580 or CompactLogix 5380 and 5480, is the dedication of a processor core to continuous task operation. Older controllers have a system overhead time slice setting, which configures the percentage of time a controller allocates to perform communication and housekeeping functions, instead of running the continuous task. Only one continuous task is allowed, but not required. An event task is triggered by a specific event. When triggered, it will interrupt any lower priority tasks. Configure the event task trigger from the options in the drop-down list. You can also set the priority of the event task. The task priority is used to control task execution. A lower number indicates the task is a higher priority. For example, if an event task with a priority of 10 is being executed and another event task with a priority of 5 is triggered, the controller will interrupt the lower priority task to execute the higher priority task, returning to complete the lower priority task when all higher priority tasks have been executed. Event task configuration is outside the scope of this fundamental course and is discussed in detail in more advanced courses. A periodic task is a time-based task that executes at a user-specified intervals or periods. When the task is finished executing, it will wait the specified period of time before it is called to execute again. When called, it will interrupt any lower priority task currently being executed. For example, a periodic task can be used to execute a PID loop every 1000 milliseconds. Periodic task configuration is outside the scope of this fundamental course and is discussed in detail in more advanced courses. Read the information on the screen and drag each option to its matching target space. A program acts as a container for one or more related routines. Programs are often used to divide areas of a plant. Each task has a Program Schedule tab where the programs within that task can be scheduled or unscheduled, and the program schedule can be rearranged. When a task is triggered to execute, the scheduled programs are executed in order from first to last, and unscheduled programs are not executed. Special programs can be created to handle various functions in a project, such as a controller fault handler program that executes when a fault occurs, and a power-up handler program that executes when a power cycle occurs. When a task is triggered, its programs execute in the order in which they are scheduled, from the first to the last. The scheduled order of programs can be modified by moving them up or down. To unschedule a program, remove it from the scheduled list. An unscheduled program is not used by any task. Programs may be left unscheduled until needed. Click the information icon to learn about ControlLogic's controller firmware version. A routine is where the executable code for a project is viewed and created. A routine can be created as a main routine, subroutine, or fault routine. You can use any of the 4 programming languages to create these routines: ladder logic, function block diagram, sequential function chart, and structured text. Each routine contains a set of elements specific to the programming language used. Routine assignments can be made in the Configuration tab of the Program Properties dialog box, or on the New Routine dialog box. It is important to note that the main and fault routines must be assigned within a program's properties. If a routine is not assigned as the main or fault routine, it is automatically a subroutine. Click each tab to learn more. The main routine is the default routine scheduled in the program to be scanned by the controller. A program can only have one main routine, and it is identified by the number 1 attached to the icon. The main routine is often used only to call the program's subroutines using JSR, or jump to subroutine instructions. However, the main routine can have other executable code in it. A jump to subroutine or JSR instruction is used in the code of a routine to call or execute a specific subroutine. A subroutine is a segment of code used to perform a specific task in a project. A program can have as many routines as the memory of the controller allows. Here you can see an example of subroutine. Subroutines are only executed when called by a JSR instruction that is in the main routine or another subroutine. A fault routine is a routine that the controller executes if it finds a recoverable major fault within the executing program. There can be only one fault routine in a program. It is identified by an exclamation mark attached to the icon. Set a routine as a fault routine when you initially create the routine. Read the information on the screen and drag each option to its matching target space.